Hello Coolers and welcome back to Barca Universal. Welcome to our first match review on the channel, and it's going to be Getafe 1, Barcelona 0. It's a sad defeat for Barcelona today. We never really got going. Playing away to Getafe, like we said in the preview of this game, is never easy, and we've suffered a bad defeat here. It's 3 points dropped in a weekend where Real Madrid, Sevilla also lost their games by 1-0. Barcelona have gone and followed suit, so a really annoying evening, an opportunity missed really ahead of the Clásico next weekend, and all we can do now is bounce back. But hey, we've got a lot to dissect here because it was a really frustrating afternoon, or evening should I say, and like we said in the preview guys, playing away to Getafe, it's just a nightmare. You know, they say it's like going to the dentist, this stadium, and it really proved to be that this evening. So without any further ado, let's get into the match review. And if we actually go ahead and start with Ronald Koeman's team selection for this game, it was essentially as we expected. We had Neto in goal, who I thought was quite good on the night. Roberto was at right back, not ideal, but there we go. Dest at left back, I thought he had a good game, but of course, he's not a left back. You know, we prefer if Jordi Alba was out there, but he wasn't. He was injured. I thought Dest did a decent job. Centre back Piqué and Longley were absolutely fine again. In midfield, Busquets and De Jong was always going to be the pivot until Pjanic is really back to full fitness and into the full flow of Barcelona. And then it was actually in the front four where there were some interesting changes. Griezmann kept his spot. I thought he was terrible on the evening, and we really do have to have some serious questions regarding the future of Antoine Griezmann. Can he just be playing every single game, almost every minute? For me, absolutely not. He doesn't have the quality right now. He's just not playing well enough. You know, I don't care about his name or his number or whatever. You know, I respect Griezmann. He's had a great career, but right now at Barcelona, if we got him on the pitch, we've got more chance of losing the game than winning it. That's the way I see it. So honestly, for me, Griezmann has to be taken out of the team, and for the Clásico, really, I wouldn't be starting him. Positives really were Dembélé and Pedri. I thought they both started. There were question marks on that. But honestly, I thought both players were really, really good on the evening. So that was a massive plus of this game. Messi, you know, he tried, he kept going, but Getafe were absolutely filthy all night long. But there you go. That was the lineup from Barcelona and Ronald Koeman. No Coutinho, no Ansu Fati. They both came on. Didn't really do too much. But let's get on really to the match action and dissect what we saw out there. Because as expected, really, guys, Getafe just made things an absolute nightmare all evening, and they've really masterminded this approach. It was essentially vintage Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone out there, and Bordalas had his team playing exactly how he wanted. They were getting the better chances, really. Messi hit the post in the first half, yes, but it was kind of out of nowhere. Griezmann went through on goal. He had to score. But honestly, Bordalas and Getafe set up absolutely perfectly, and they just made it a nightmarish evening for Barcelona. We never really got going. I thought ourselves, you know, we weren't very good at all. But in terms of Getafe, in that block, getting free kicks, making things a complete issue with the referee, you know, massive scuffles in the middle of the pitch, constant fouls, constantly bringing down our players, that incredibly deep and compact block they play, you know, that mixed with the amount of pressing and, you know, high pressure they put on the ball. It was just one of those evenings where you never thought Barcelona were really going to win this game. You never thought in the moment of the game where you're thinking, yeah, here we go. Barcelona can go out there and get a massive 3 points here. And that's what it would have been, guys. We needed to win this game anyway. We've already dropped points to Sevilla. We've got Real Madrid coming up. And we've mentioned it so many times. The fixture schedule we have right now is really, really tough. But it's absolutely imperative to win games like this if you want to be winning La Liga. And we didn't do it, guys. We've lost the game. Cadiz have beaten Real Madrid at their home ground. That was a massive result for us. And hey, you know, that's a positive, you'd say. Real Madrid are looking weak right now. Sevilla have lost to Granada. Atletico Madrid, yes, they've won again today, but they've also been dropping points earlier on in the season, very early on. So all teams going for the title don't look that strong right now. So that's why it was important for Barcelona to win tonight. And of course, we've had so many hard fixes on top of this one, and we haven't done it. Getafe made things so hard for us. They had good set pieces in the first half, you know, constant fouls, getting in the players' faces, cutting up the game. And it was just a really frustrating evening. It's not a pleasant watch. It's not the sort of game that you sit down in neutral and say, hey, look at this absolute spectacle. It was nothing like that. And we've said that in the preview, guys. And, you know, I've tried reiterating that as the week has gone on, because away to Getafe is just about as unpleasant as it gets. And, well, it really proved out there. But if we do move into that second half, and I was really hoping to see a big reaction from the Barcelona team, and in all honesty, we didn't really see it. I think if we wanted to see that, maybe Griezmann could have come off at half-time, a big team talk from Ronald Koeman, who we'll get onto just a little bit later. But honestly, Getafe kept doing their thing, you know, the constant fouls, the constant winning free kicks somehow, you know, getting our players booked, winding up our players also. It was just constant, guys, and it was a really annoying way we conceded our goal, because it was about 10 minutes into the second half, and it was a penalty from Jaime Mata, but the way it comes about, They swing a long ball up. Roberto should just leave it to go out for a goal kick for Barcelona, but I don't know if he doesn't get a shout or if it's a poor decision, whatever. He heads it back into play, and by the end of the attack, Getafe have a corner. But from that resulting corner, they whip it in, and in the end, the ball falls at the back post to Janae, and it's a really slight touch from Frankie de Jong. But of course, Getafe, guys, you know how they are. They've been kicking and fouling us all evening, but if you even breathe on them, they're going down, they're making a meal out of it. And that's Janae, who's meant to be one of the most physical players in La Liga, and he's a tough guy at the back, he's a leader. De Jong literally, he just gets a little touch on him down the back of his ankle, and of course it's a penalty. You can't really complain. We'd won it if it was for Barcelona, and if it was the other way around. And at the end of the day, Soto Grado, he gives the penalty kick. Jaime Mata sends Neto the wrong way, and really Getafe's pantomime just worked here. It really, really did, because this is exactly what they wanted. They played that sort of football. They minimised Barcelona's chances. They wound us up all game. We didn't look up for it. We didn't want to get our legs broken in there. Getafe were putting in some hard challenges, constantly getting on the referee's back. And honestly, the whole pantomime worked. The penalty kick, the diving, the fouling, the time wasting. It was just awful, and it was vintage Getafe. It was vintage Bordalas. And at the end of the day, Barcelona have come away really, really frustrated from this one. But I would maybe be disappointed by the way that we actually followed up going 1-0 down there, guys. And both the manager and the players, really. Because I think the players, was there really enough fight? I don't think so. And it was only towards the 95th minute that we got some good chances. And that was really from just getting long balls into the box, which honestly isn't the way I want to play as a Barcelona team. But when you're away against Getafe, when they're playing like that, sometimes you do just need to lob a ball into the box. And honestly, that's where we got our chances from. Messi probably should have scored it with about 2 minutes to play. Janae hit his own crossbar from a header. And that's what happens ultimately when you whip balls into the box. I think the first one, Lenglet literally just wallops his boot through it. Piqué nods it down, and Messi should score. He really should. And honestly, that's just from Lenglet putting his left boot through the ball instead of just trying to intricately play through Getafe, which, yes, is an option. We could have done that, but we weren't good enough tonight to do that. We really weren't. And of course, Getafe away, they don't exactly let you play like that. So I just would like to see something different from Barcelona today. I think right up until the final whistle, was there enough desire? Was there enough attitude to go and say, let's turn this around, let's win this match? I really don't know. I didn't know on that front anyway. And in terms of Ronald Koeman's front, their substitutions, I like the way that he is as a manager, Koeman. I think he's exactly what we need, actually. He's bold, he's brave, he's not afraid to do things. But then you go on the other regard, and that's the fact that he's keeping Griezmann out there constantly. And why? Just because of his name? Because honestly, on performance, how can you take Pedri and Dembele off and keep Griezmann on in the 60th minute? I just worry about that. In terms of substitutions wise, and by the end of the game, God knows what formation we were playing. I think we were playing like a 2-5-1 or something. It was unbelievable, honestly. There were just 8 attackers in the box, 2 people at the back, and 1 in Busquets in midfield. It was crazy out there, honestly, guys. There were numbers all over the shop, and Getafe could have made it too late on, but ultimately, guys, it's a bad defeat for Barcelona. It's Getafe who've come here, they've set up their pantomime, and it's worked to absolute perfection. They've hurt us, they really have. Barcelona have suffered a bad defeat here. It's one we couldn't really afford, but it can be rectified. We've got the Clásico next weekend, and there's no real better way to rectify it other than beating Real Madrid, getting above them in the table, getting the head-to-head over us, or over on them, sorry. And also, ultimately, just, getting the points on the board. We've dropped points to Sevilla now, we've lost to Getafe. It's time to start winning matches, and the teams I'm naming here, it's tough. It is tough. We've said that in the preview, guys. Barcelona, I've got a really rough schedule right now, but honestly, it's time to just keep going. It's still early days. I still back the manager. I still back this team, but it was a bit lacklustre today. And just a word on Getafe maybe and a few of their players. I just think Bordalas, he was nasty. He's a filthy manager. I'll give him credit. I really will. He's a good tactician. He's got the Getafe team playing in a way of sorts. It works, it really does, but it's not pleasant. It's not good football at all. It's pretty nasty. You can tell that he's given his players instructions to go out and hurt some of our players, especially look at Pedri and Sulfati. You can tell that the players of Getafe have been instructed to go and give them a hit. And for me, it's not really on. I wouldn't, say that sort of football is very good. You saw Ronald Koeman have a word with Bordalas after full time. He kind of said, I'm not going to shake your hand because that was absolutely vile what you've just gone and done out there. And obviously Koeman's frustrated, but I think Bordalas maybe needed that. We've seen Setien clash with Bordalas in the past, and a few other Cruyffistas maybe don't like the way that Bordalas would play football, but I think Koeman was basically saying what you were doing out there wasn't football, and I would have to agree on that front. And also just a few of the Getafe players, Neom in particular, what an absolute clown he is at the back. Honestly, some of the stuff he gets up to every game, and I saw it. I saw once he's starting lineup, I just say to myself, here we go, because we're in for a long 90 minutes here with this guy. He constantly fouls, he puts in vile challenges, and if you breathe on him, guys, he's going to stay down and get the medical team on. It's just absurd, and you saw in the second half, he barges into Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati doesn't go and say anything to him, he's just holding his face on the floor. He puts his hands behind his back, doesn't he, and kind of just like squats over the 17-year-old, and you're just thinking, what are you doing, mate? You're an absolute clown, and he does that constantly, and I think that was the case for a lot of the Getafe players out there. They really set up their pantomime, they made this a nightmare of a game for Barcelona, and ultimately they got their way. But that is where this video is going to come to an end, guys. Please do leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. It was a really frustrating evening, like I've just said, guys. We didn't want this to be the result. We've lost a game here. We have to bounce back now. We've got a Champions League fixture midweek. All the content will be here on Barca Universal. But yeah, make sure you guys are sticking together. We've got a long season ahead. It was a bad day at the office. I didn't think we played that well. I thought Getafe, their game plan, it worked to absolute perfection. It was a bit of a nightmare of an evening, guys, but there's lots to come. Games coming thick and fast, and of course the Clásico next weekend. Great chance to make things right, get some 3 points on the board, and that'll be a big, big statement from KOEMAN's Barcelona. But that's where I'm going to see all of you guys. The videos are going to be coming up as the weeks go on, and I hope you guys did enjoy this one, Culés. Of course, the result was bad, but the previews, the reviews will all be here on the channel, so we'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.